I am broadcasting on both Facebook and on Periscope. So I want to make sure I get all of my focus together. Yes, keep pouring in. Good evening. Trying to get some stuff set up. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Okay, I'll follow you also. Until then, share with your friends and your family, anybody who you think will benefit from this free masterclass. It is only 3 days long, and each day I will be on for maybe a half an hour to 40 minutes at the most. So I would like for you all to please share this free broadcast, this free masterclass with your followers. Tap in hearts, tap in thumbs up. I have Facebook Live on this side, and I have Periscope on this side. So I'm going to be looking back and forth, but the most of my attention will be over here on Facebook Live. So I just want to thank everybody for joining, and maybe people who wanted to join, who actually signed up for the masterclass, will be able to review the replay because it's free. So you'll be able to review the replay later on whenever you want. But I'm going to give people a few more minutes to join. So keep coming in and giving your feedback in the post down below, in the chat box down below. And we're going to get started in another minute. It's now 6:33. I told you all I was going to start at 6:30. And then we will go from there. So I just want to introduce myself. I am Aria Craig. I am an empowerment and leadership strategist for moms, in particular single, divorced, and blended moms, those who are ambitious and ready to rise to the next level of betterment in their personal and professional development. I am going to do this 3-day masterclass that's going to focus on 3 segments. Today is going to focus on parenting, give you some tips on parenting. Tomorrow I will focus on, which is a really good one, tomorrow is going to be focused on your career advancement. So tips on advancing yourself in your career in corporate America, receiving that promotion. A lot of times when I'm broadcasting on Periscope and Facebook, I do a lot of more broadcasting and discussion around being an entrepreneur. But tomorrow I'm going to take a back seat with that and talk more about leadership in corporate America. And on the 3rd day, of course, I'm going to be talking about finding love, tips on standing in the gap with your mate, with your man. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to say good evening to everyone, of course, and thank you for joining today. I was supposed to do this last week, but I had class. I know a lot of people in my program did this last week, and they did a fabulous job. I was able to go back and look at a few of the replays, but I had class and I had a graduation that I wanted to attend on that Wednesday, of course, because I received a certificate. So I had to push this back an extra week, but I know that we are less than a week away from Christmas. So hopefully I would be able to share with something with you that may be beneficial for you in your 2017 endeavors. So again, I just want to thank everyone for joining. I appreciate it. I wanted to start off by saying whenever you can, if you can share your posts, talk about where you're from and what you do for a living, and also what your 2017 goals are. I think that's very important for personal and professional development, because there may be something that you share on the broadcast that other people may not have thought about, that it may resonate with them in some type of way for them to say, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's something that I could do also. So I just want you to chime in, share, and engage during the broadcast. So I'm going to still give people time to join in with us here. Pour in the hearts and the thumbs up. A lot of times, most of the time actually, when I'm doing a broadcast, I have several people on. So I want to, give everybody an opportunity to voice their feedback during the post. And even after the replay, make sure that you do the same thing. Voice your feedback on the broadcast and what your thoughts are moving forward. So why did I decide to do this masterclass? Well, there are three main reasons. First of all, my experience in corporate America as a parent of a single parent for 12 years, married for 5 years. So now I'm part of a blended family household, a blended family structure, and which means I'm also a wife. So I'm able to share those experiences with everybody, which actually I have chopped off, or I should say segmented, as part of the three volumes of my book series, the Single Mother Diaries. So for that reason, I'm able to sit on panels and have discussions, or even have presentations in front of a group of women that are mothers, and share whatever it is that I had to overcome in my life. And I had to overcome a lot of things, which I'm sure everybody has challenges that they had to overcome, and learn lessons that they had to learn through their journeys. So hopefully when I'm speaking on panels and I'm speaking in front of a group of people, whether most of the time they're women, but whether it's, they're mothers or fathers, there's something that I say that would resonate with them. And I can tell you, if you've ever been to an event to where I sat on a panel or was a speaker at a event, then I'm almost always, I have people coming up to me that want to share their experience. And I had one at a group that was earlier this year, sometime around the late spring, early summer, to where a lady came to me afterwards, and she was just pouring down tears and giving me and hugging me and holding on to me, saying that, the experience that she received from that day really helped her, because she was going through some major challenges in her life. And it made me feel good that there was something that I said that was able to support her, so that she can go back and do some self-assessment to figure out what she can do, what direction she can go, and be guided by discernment. So, and also as a single mom, I wanted to dispel any stigmas. Again, now I'm a blended mother. I'm married now, and I have a husband, but I wanted to really dispel any stigmas, which is probably my main focus, on women, and actually men also, but more so for women, because we get the brunt end of the stick. We have so many stigmas associated with being a single mother, and people don't realize that divorced moms also refer to themselves as single mothers. So there are a lot of negative connotations around that term, around that status, and I want to dispel some of that stigma and some of the fears that we have being associated to the term single mother. Also, I wanted to build confidence in my target audience in my group, which I said for the most part are single, divorced, and blended moms. But I have moms that are married that sit in the audience and have bought my book. And I just wanted to build confidence in moms, because we have a hard time. We have to cover our household, and we have so many things that we have to do, in addition to, if we're married, being a spouse and standing in that gap for our husbands, which is what I'm going to talk about on day 3. We have to, if we're single parents, we have to cover our children, manage our households. We have to make sure that we are feeding them, providing for them, putting clothes on their backs. And if we're the only ones in our household that are authority figures, and the ones that we're bringing in income, and we're just the only adult in our household, if we don't have adult children, then we have to provide that safety, which is what mainly one of the characteristics that your husband does. We have to do that also. We have to provide that safety for our children. And another thing, the last thing, that the reason why I want to create this masterclass is that I am in the middle of creating a movement. I'm creating a movement for ambitious mothers who already know that they have a plan, they have goals in place. They may need some help along the way with execution and delivery and implementation, but they're not stagnated. Like, they don't want to be stagnated. That's not part of their vocabulary. They want to move to that next level of success. They are ready now or yesterday. And again, they have a plan or some type of strategy in place, or they have a plan and they need help to put that strategy in place to move forward. So that being said, I want to get started because I didn't want to take up a lot of people's time. Like I said before, these master classes are going to be probably about 30 minutes long, or maybe even shorter than that. But I wanted to provide the value for you now. So going into my 3 main points for today's topic, how to lead so your children will follow. So the first thing that I think is very important for us as parents to develop within ourselves so our children will see and build upon also as they get older is to build integrity. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines integrity as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. It has 3 factors: trust, deliverance, and accountability. One thing I've learned being a business owner is that people only patronize someone that they trust, that can deliver on their promise and that can hold themselves accountable for anything less than what they are delivering. The same thing with our children. If you are full of empty promises and not holding up to the principles of stewardship, then your children are going to have a less than favorable level of respect for you. So it's heartbreaking for them initially, but as time goes on, if you keep with the same behavior, then they will start to see you in a different light, and that's not what you want as a parent. That light becomes diminishing because they already have certain expectations of you as a parent. So if you're not holding up to those standard expectations that any parent should have as a parent, then it's going to kind of have them to have a different perception of you. And then you don't really want that as a parent, especially if this continues on into their adult age. They're not going to be able to depend on you. They're not even going to want to honor you, or there may be a level of, I want to say awkwardness to some degree to where they're not even going to want you around. If they're having issues in their lives, you're not going to be the first one that they call. They're going to rely on somebody else. And that's not what you want as a parent. You want to be the first person that your child looks up to and reaches out to when they need you. They need to know that even though you are their disciplinarian in times of correction, you are also their advocate in times of need. And you are also their hero. So that being said, the second character that I want to identify is you have to be a leader yourself. If you have a stance on something, then go out there and do something about it. For instance, with this last election, if Donald Trump struck a nerve with you before the election, then what are you going to do about it now that he's the president-elect? This election campaign made everyone voice their opinion, and some people didn't even vote, which to me, if you didn't vote, then you pretty much don't have an opinion because your voice is that ballot. So if you didn't voice yourself on that ballot, then after the election was over, you pretty much, to me, as far as I'm concerned, you need to work on that being something that you exercise the next election to voice your opinion and the direction that the election will go. So, but that doesn't mean just because if you voted for Hillary Clinton or if you voted for whoever was the independent party, that doesn't mean that now that the person that you didn't want to be elected, now that he is the president-elect, that doesn't mean that now that you stop with your diligence and you become silent. What are your next steps in how you plan to advocate for your cause? These are leadership qualities that your children and the children in your community, in your churches, in your ministries need to see. So how are you going to fight for what you believe in and fight for them being the future generations to come? And how are you going to rise and stand to the occasion that gives them a sense of pride? They believe they can conquer anything once they see you conquer something, because you are somebody that you're not only their parent, but you look like them. So if you are going to have those leadership qualities and stand up for what you believe in and be diligent about it, they're going to do the same because they were raised with that, having seen you do it. And that's what you call building a legacy for your children, and again for your children's children, for future generations to come in your family. The third thing that I wanted to stress is constantly evolving. No one should be stagnant. Age doesn't always come with wisdom. As we get older, we should always be in a mindset of growing and developing. You can't possibly make the same mistakes in your 20s and expect to get certain different circumstances or different results in your 40s. As you get older, so do your children. So whatever example that you set for your children as they are, as they're young, is how they're going to be accustomed to when they grow older. And when they get to a certain age, it's very difficult for you to try to steer them in a different direction because that's what they're used to. So by that time, they have to learn the lesson on their own, and hopefully they don't blame you for their actions, because a lot of times when we go through, I don't know if you all have been through it, but I did actually when I was in my 20s. When something devastating happened to me, I started thinking that, it was because of, what I went through with certain situations with certain people in my family. And at a certain age, after a certain period of time, I had to tell myself I cannot keep blaming people or circumstances or my family or what I went through in my past as a crutch. I can't keep using them as a crutch and blaming them as that's the excuse. I can't keep doing it because now I am grown. I know right from wrong, and I know that there are, I should know by a certain point, there are consequences behind every decision I make, good, bad, and different. So, like I said, this was something that was a very short, because, when you're on broadcasting, you have people that's coming in from work, they're tired. I wanted to make sure that I gave you some value and some flavor for this evening that was going to be short and help you, not, like I said, when I say it's short, I'm saying short in length, and to help you with your personal development as a parent. So just as a recap, to lead so your children will follow, you must, 1, build integrity, 2, be a leader, and 3, constantly evolve. So what are your goals for 2017 as a parent? I want you all to think about that, because as I said before, as you get older, your children are going to get older. So to increase that connection of, bonding and, like I said, leadership. One of the things that I thought would be a good idea is, while you're thinking about your 2017 resolutions, you're thinking about, I want to increase my credit score, or I want to get a promotion, or I want to train to be a bodybuilder, which is actually a initiative for some people. It is a New Year's resolution for some people, because they spent the last few months trying to get in shape and clean their body, that they want to actually do something like participate in a bodybuilding contest. I know a few people that I'm connected with that did that. And if that's something that you want to do, now that I'm mentioning it, please let me know. Please send out something on Facebook, or send me an email at aria@ariacraig.com, because I have the perfect person for you that is able to, this person trains trainers who do bodybuilding competitions. So having said that, while you're thinking about your 2017 New Year's resolutions, I want you to think about this as sort of a challenge. I don't want to call it an assignment. I want to call it more so a development challenge. So what I want you to do is write down a list of 4 goals that you want to accomplish in 2017. And let these be goals that you can share with your children. Write down 4 goals, 1 for each quarter of 2017, that you want to accomplish, and share them with your children. And I want you to also sit with your children and have them write down a list of goals. Write down for 2017, what do you want to accomplish each quarter? What do you want to do for the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter of 2017? When each quarter is, I say, the second month, near the end of the second month of each quarter, you all need to come back together as a group and meet, and then discuss what you've done so far to reach that goal. Like, what were your steps? Have you had any progression? Are you advancing with something? Is it hard for you? Did you find yourself procrastinating? Did you put it on the back burner? that's something that also you might want to talk at the very beginning of the conversation to let them know while we're doing this and building this out now in 2016 for 2017, let's connect with each other in case there are any issues to where you're having a hard time, so that I can support you as a parent. And believe it or not, your children can also support you in terms of accountability as their parent. They'll come in and say, dad or mom, what about that goal? What about this? What did you do so far? If your goal was weight loss, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first quarter. I want to lose 10 pounds a month in the first quarter, and they see you snacking on cheeseburgers and Culver's, the turtle Sundays, they will hold you accountable. They will come to you and say, remember what we discussed? How about you get a salad? If you're instead of getting a burger, get a grilled chicken salad. Instead of getting, if you have a sweet tooth, instead of doing that, create or getting a sundae. How about, getting something sweet that's naturally sweet, like I know carrots are not a good idea, but for some people who translate sweets but get fruit. Fruit is a good one. Get fruit that have natural sweetnesses, so that you're able to still meet your goals. But children are good for accountability, trust me. And I think if you're a parent, you know that. So again, that second month, at the end of the second month of each quarter, come together and say, how did we do? What are we doing? Do you need support? Do you need help? And congratulate them for their achievements. Let them know of a job well done that they're doing so far, because your praise means everything to your children. So that being said, that is the end of the broadcast of our day one free masterclass of how to lead so your children will follow. But I would like for you to stay tuned to tomorrow as we discuss the topic, how high do you want to go how high do you want to go in corporate America? 3 impressive promotion worthy strategies. So I'm going to give you guys some 3 really good tips on what you can do in 2017, or you can do now, even though it's still 2017 and we have a couple of weeks. You can actually implement these as early as the next day after the broadcast to increase your chances of a promotion, or within that company or another company. So until next time, I want to thank you for joining me today. I will see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. And until next time, stay fabulous. Thank you.